When Tom...
From New York, not really that new, and not really that York. It's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, Tom Brokaw, actress Fran Drescher, and musician Buckwheat Zydeco. Plus, Paul Schaefer, and the world's most dangerous man. And now, the world's tallest man, David Letterman.
Boy. Woo, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Settle down. Thank you. Please, please. Boy, could I go for some flan. I know it means nothing to you folks at home, but a very nice young man named Richard from Queens. Is that right, Richard? Yeah, okay. He brought me some flan. I appreciate that. And I believe it was instant flan, so... Let me explain to you what happened last night, and you tell me. You be the judge. You be the social arbiter here. You be the ombudsman. Was this behavior I'm about to describe to you annoying? I went to see last night that Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Paul, have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, that Total Recall movie. And I'm sitting there. Is that the name of it? Total Recall? Okay. So I'm sitting there in the theater, and it was packed. It was crowded. And every time a character comes on the screen that I haven't seen before, I nudge the person next to me, and I say, "Is that a robot?" I don't know. Oh, man alive. All right, settle down, kids. We got a big show here. Do you ever get involved in things and you get really enthusiastic about it, and then a few weeks later you think, what the hell was I thinking of? I'll give you another example. About a month ago, 6 weeks ago, Paul and I were talking up in my office, and I said, you know what I'm going to do, Paul? I'm going to start collecting show business memorabilia. Remember that?
And I thought it was a great idea.
It's an excellent idea because, you know, whether you like it or not, this is more or less show business right here. And so today I just decided to forget the whole thing. After a month now, here's all I've been able to acquire: a videotape of The Sound of Music and a snapshot of Buster Crabbe. So I don't know... Man alive. That was, by the way, the very dictionary definition of a smattering of applause. Have you... So have you been following the controversy in Michigan? There is a doctor who has invented a suicide machine, and a judge now in the state of Michigan has ordered him not to sell the suicide machine, not to give the suicide machine to anyone else. Now, in a related story, John Gotti has contacted the inventor of the machine, and he asked him, could he build a make-it-look-like a suicide machine? We don't... Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I know. And who would like to follow me home? Thank you. Hey, guys, look at this program. Tom Brokaw is here. Buckwheat Zydeco is right back over there. Buckwheat, nice to see you. And Fran Drescher from the motion picture Cadillac Man. Now, say hello to our friend Paul Schaefer. He's right over there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You think I'm in trouble? Come and get me?
Boy, David, I got to tell you this. It was a beautiful day, and I walked to work along 57th Street.
It's a lovely day, wasn't it?
And a guy, I swear to God, this is true, a guy approached me very quickly. He stuck out his hand. He said, Paul, nice to see you. Debbie Gibson's ex-manager. How are you? And he was gone. Debbie Gibson's ex-manager.
Boom, boom, boom.
Gone. Then I swear to God, the next person I ran into, Judy Collins. Hand to God, it's true.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And I told her the story.
Yeah.
Debbie Gibson's ex-manager said hello.
Yeah.
And she said, he told you who he used to be. I want to tell you who I want to be.
Very nice, Paul. Very
that
nice.
something?
Very, very.
Judy Collins.
Very touching.
She really doesn't know clouds at all.
But you know, I'm wondering now, could you have taken it one step farther, one step farther,
Farther or further, yeah.
and put them together?
Then what would happen?
He would be managing her.
Managing her.
Yeah.
Only in the past, though. I don't know. So I had a marvelous...
Yeah. You know, do you ever do this? You ever wake up in a strange place and it takes just like a split second to figure out where you are?
Yes.
I'll tell you what happens. I'm having some rooms in my home painted. Mm-hmm. And so as a result, I'm staying in what we euphemistically call the guest room. I've actually come home late at night and found guests there.
I see.
So it became the guest room.
Guest room,
So
yeah.
now I don't know if I'm woozy because of the paint fumes or just woozy because of that's the way I am. But I woke up this morning and it must have taken me a half an hour to figure out where I was.
Yeah.
I woke up and said, I must be on vacation. This room don't look familiar. That's the first thing. That's how my day began. Can you imagine such a thing? Well, obviously you can. All right, here we go. You know, ladies and gentlemen, like I need to tell you, World Cup soccer is continuing now in Italy. It's the most popular sport in the world. A lot of Americans don't know much about soccer, so here now to keep you up to date on the tournament is our own stagehand Almar with his nightly World Cup soccer update.
Thanks, Dave. In a day marked by rough play, I thought I saw a guy put a sleeper hold on this other guy. But it turned out I was watching professional wrestling. Sorry I screwed up.
One of these days, ask me about this show tonight, this very show here tonight.
One of these days?
One of these days, not tonight.
Okay.
And tomorrow night is excellent. Tomorrow, first thing, ask me about tonight's show.
About tonight's
I have
show.
a wonderful story to tell you. I can't tell you now, but I'll tell you tomorrow night.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, stop it. Hey. Hey, damn it. That's not the kind of team spirit we need here tonight, all right?
We got plans.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Man, up there fixating on flan now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thought we would begin tonight's telecast with one of our big hopes and fears presentation. Paul? Okay. All right. Hey, it ain't that funny. Oh, hi. Here it is. We're going to show you our hopes, and then we'll show you our fears. See what you think. Our hope, of course, is that new trade laws will give the Soviet people access to the finest products of America's capitalist system. Our fear, that Simpsons T-shirts will be on sale in Russia. Our hope is that I'll get a chance to travel to Europe this summer. My fear is that I'll get a window seat on British Airways.
What happened there with that?
Well, they were flying from one city to another city, 23,000 feet. The window popped open and the captain was sucked out of the plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I understand the
And he
steward
made that
grabbed
announcement. He says, if you look out the left side of the aircraft, you'll see my head banging into the fuselage. It's very, very entertaining. I understand he was actually jerked out of his socks.
Really?
Yeah.
Jerked right out of his socks.
Here is our hope. Joe Garagiola will become a welcome addition to the Today Show. Our fear, Deborah Norville will shave her head and start reading scores. Here's another one of our hopes. Lithuania will achieve independence. A fear, somehow that Hey Vern guy will become president. Our hope, New York baseball fans will have a Subway series this fall. Our fear, they'll actually have to ride the subway to get there. Our hope, John Poindexter will leave prison a better man. Our fear, John Poindexter will leave prison in a strapless sundress. You know, Paul, a couple of weeks ago I had a rental car that pulled to the left.
Yes, I remember.
Now my regular car is pulling to the left.
How does that come
I don't
about?
know. I don't know what's going on. Is
Maybe
it me?
it's
Should
you.
I be doing something
Must be
wrong?
you.
Must be me. Our hope, JFK Jr. will pass the bar on his third attempt. Our fear, JFK Jr. will pass the bar on his third attempt. I have no idea. I don't even know what this means. I don't know. How could our hope and fear be the same?
The same thing? I don't know what
I
that
don't
means.
get it. Do you understand this?
I absolutely don't get it. Don't understand it.
If I could sing a little later. A little Broadway stuff.
Yeah.
Hope, George.
I hear you're going into Phantom in the lead role. Is that true? In the LA production?
Guys in the audience are just yelling monosyllabic things. Just, I don't know, Baldy. Thank you very much. I couldn't be more proud to have a guy yell that at me. There, he did it again. See? Okay, hey, shut up. Hey. That guy. Our hope, George Bush had a happy 66th birthday yesterday. Our fear is that Mayor Barry is still celebrating. That's... Is that it? All we have here? Do we have anything else? Okay. Remind me, tomorrow, Paul, at this 24 hours from now, ask me about tonight's show.
I will ask you about tonight's show,
Okay,
but I can't ask
24 hours.
now.
No.
Tomorrow,
We'll do a commercial here, and then Tom Brokaw from NBC News will come on out.
If I had a Z, it'd be silver. No, black. And I'd take it to a racetrack. Hold it.
Have ridges.
He means the potato chips.
Ruffles have ridges?
Ridges are what make them so good.
Ruffles.
Well, that's a funny thing to say.
Funny, it's printed right on the bag.
Ruffles.
Yeah, but why can't he just say Mama and Dada?
Because that's not on the bag.
Gentlemen, let me tell you who's on tonight's program. Tom Brokaw, who will be out here in just a matter of moments. Buckwheat Zydeco is also going to be here.
Stanley Durrell, also known as Buckwheat, with his style of music known as Zydeco,
Right.
playing some of the repertoire of his band Buckwheat Zydeco.
Okay, great. So he's here. Great. Nice to have you. All right. And Fran Drescher. Am I
She
pronouncing
is
that properly?
marvelously
Fran
talented
Drescher, yes,
actress.
from Cadillac Man, also in Spinal Tap. Did you work with her in
We
that
worked
film?
together in that, although
Yeah.
we never really worked together.
And many, many other fine, quality American... What was that you did, Paul?
Audience making up their own jokes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for big-time television entertainment. Our first guest is the anchor of the NBC Nightly News, and the last few weeks he has received honorary doctorates from Duke University, Boston College, and the Columbia Law School. Not affiliated with the Columbia School of Broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the program our old friend, Dr. Tom Brokaw. Tom? Good to see you. How is your summer beginning? Pretty good, I guess.
Well,
huh?
a little busy. A lot of time in Washington with Gorbachev and crowd, and then out to San Francisco, where I thought probably at the end of about 36 hours in San Francisco and down at Stanford. I was a little worried when the big Russian limousine got out to the airport, and they said, okay, it's time to go home, Mikey. And I thought they're probably going to have to pry his hands off the limousine because it's a lot better in California than it is for Gorbachev back where he's going.
So he was in a combination of two things. He's not having a good time in his home country, and he was having a great time here. Is that
We
right?
like him a lot more here than they like him there.
Now, why is that? How does that happen? What's going on there that they don't like him?
Well, you know, the little problem with bread on the table and nothing in the stores and perestroika they still don't understand and don't get. They got a guy by the name of Boris Yeltsin who's been getting a lot of attention saying he's got to move a lot faster, so it's a tough time for him.
So now using the old Reagan measuring stick, are things...
Which one is that?
Well, you know, the one where he said when it's time for re-election, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Apply that to the Russian people.
That's not a question that Mikhail Gorbachev would want to ask right now.
Yeah.
Because they would send him probably to the waterworks in Lithuania at the moment.
So things are then measurably worse.
They're worse. And they're not getting better fast.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think that, in fact, is the case.
So anyway, that must have been a great experience. Now, you know the guy. You've interviewed the guy.
Right.
You were the first American journalist to interview him, as I recall. What did you talk about when you weren't taping?
Well, the first thing that we talked about is that we talked about a little bit about his young manhood in the agricultural regions of Russia, where he worked in a big combine in the summertime and so on. Then I had this funny experience with him when we said to the Russian technicians, listen, you go ahead and take care of his technical needs and I'll take care of mine. And in fact, I got all lashed up and I looked over and he had kind of a clenched fist hanging off his tie for a microphone and this hand grenade for an earpiece.
Just giant, big old...
So I'm going like this, changing the microphone, and I realize it's the General Secretary of the Communist Party staring at me. And I remember that he's supposed to have a nice smile and iron teeth. So I said, well, Mr. Secretary, you must understand there's something I have to do in my job every day. And he looked at me and he leaned back. He said, you would not believe what I have to do in my job every day.
Yeah. But did you ever get the sense when you were playing with his sound equipment that there was a cheap hotel someplace full of KGB guys just
listening?
What? But is he...
Very gregarious.
Very gregarious.
Yeah.
And what about his wife? Are these reports that she's aloof and stony, are those accurate?
Well, I think that she did warm up a little bit this time. I did think that there was a little one-on-one competition with Nancy Reagan when they first met. But
a lovely woman, by the way. For my money, a lovely, lovely woman.
I'll make sure that she...
See, I don't even know why I said that. I don't know the woman. She could very well be a lovely woman.
She would probably like you to write a blurb for her book. That probably can be arranged.
Oh, I'd be happy to.
Make lots of money for that.
Oh, really?
And you can visit her when you go to California.
Okay, well, good. We'll do that.
At any rate, she is a little aloof. She's not quite as gregarious as he is, but he counts on her advice, I think, that is fairly clear. I was at the White House State Dinner, and he gives you a big clap on the back, you know, and kind of a bear hug, how we doing kind of thing. And she is a little more distant and asking more penetrating questions about what's going on in the United States and where we're likely to go.
So now, when you go to one of these big dinner party deals, are you there as kind of like a buddy of the administration, a friend of somebody, or are you there as an American network anchorman?
Well, I think that there are separate roles, and you try delicately to balance all of them. I mean, you don't want to go over and spill soup or you know, go up and badger the president for an answer to your question or whatever. But at the same time, you never leave your repertorial responsibilities at home.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Say George Bush, in the course of the evening, corners you and says, you know, Tom, you know what I got coming up in a couple of weeks? I've got A, B, C, and D, and I'm telling you, I am strapped. There is no way I'm going to be able to make everybody happy. And he starts bending your ear about his problems. Then, is it likely, is it possible that at some future point in reporting on that same circumstance, you become maybe a little less objective because you know what's going on in his mind?
No, what you do is that you use that as part of the fabric of how you're dealing with the president. What you say is, and you do with some understanding then, if the president is feeling besieged. For example, he said that night when I raised with him the German question, which they had all been talking about, he said, it permeates everything that they discuss with us. So the next day on the air, I was able to say in the administration, the highest possible levels, they're concerned that the German question just comes up in every topic that they talk about with the Soviets. But you are there both as a guest, but the president is not a naive man. He knows that I'm there as a journalist as well. And he was, I must say, I mean, it's tough for him, I think, at the end of a long opening day of the summit talks to have to then go and make small talk at a table filled with people that he probably would rather be over with Gorbachev trying to work things out. Come on, Mikhail, we got to do something about Berlin. And he seemed quite distracted until the strings came in, the strolling violinists, and they played a wonderful piece of music.
Where do they get the violin people?
From the Marines.
Marines are playing violins? You don't think of Marines as playing violins, do you?
You probably would have joined if you'd known that duty was available. At any rate, they played, then they swung in another quite familiar piece of music, and the president kind of sat up alertly, and he summoned an aide over, and they had a little quick, and he waited until it finished, and then he leaned over to Mrs. Gorbachev, and he said, that was Moscow Nights. Yeah. And she said, yes, I know.
Yeah. Yes, I know. She said what she was thinking was bonehead. Yes, I know. It's fascinating. You must consider yourself very, very lucky to be right there in on everything that's going on. Don't you?
Well, it is fun.
Plus, free eats
I think
like
I think that free eats, good wine, all those things, and you know, find your chair and all that. But I think everyone in that room, on those occasions, whatever station they have reached in life, you know, robber barons, industrialists, politicians, anchormen, however we've gotten into the door, you know, it's kind of a special time, quite honestly.
Have you done the news tonight, or are you getting ready to go do it?
No, I'm getting ready to. By the way, when I saw you the other night, did you score or not?
Yeah, we're talking about... Did I ever? Hey, shut up! It's the third time I've had to tell the audience to shut up. That's not a good sign.
No. No. You think they got the wrong impression?
No, yeah, we were going to play softball. Okay,
oh, yeah, right.
we'll do a commercial, and then we'll be back here with Tom Wolfe. Now, after he left Washington, he was here for like the weekend.
Right.
Then they went to Minneapolis.
Minneapolis
right?
for about 6 hours.
And what did they do there exactly? How did that work?
They're up. He's out like he's a little bit like Willie Loman. He's got a smile on his face and a shine in his shoes. He's selling the idea that you can do business in the Soviet Union. So he sells that in Minneapolis, Washington, goes out to San Francisco, goes down to Stanford, meets with the Bay Area industrialists and so on, and goes back home. And
Private businessmen?
Oh, yeah. 200 of the leading capitalists in America gathered at the Fairmont Hotel.
And he's saying, we got a great marketplace, come on over.
And he said, you don't have to worry about things over there. And as soon as he gets back, Boris Yeltsin wins the presidency of the Russian Federation and says, we declare we're ceding, in effect, from the rest of the Soviet Union. So he's got a tough time at it.
Yeah. What kind of shoes does the guy wear?
Look, they're doing better, by the way. You know, we've talked about that in the past. They used to not to wear the shoes, but the shoe boxes, as I always said. But now things are a lot more tailored, a lot of double-breasted suits. We'd fit in right over there. We'd probably get elected to the Politburo.
Cool. Let me, now your daughter just graduated from college.
Middle daughter. This is the second one.
Second one. Yeah. Man, that's stunning that you would be old enough to have two young women graduate from college.
Exactly how I look
at it. Because you're boyish. You seem to be quite young. Right. I mean, I think of you and I as being essentially the same age. Maybe you're a bit older, I think, to myself, but not much. Not much.
I'm 62, you're 59, right?
So did you participate in the ceremonies, or?
No, as a matter of fact, I think it's better that if you just go out, well, in a way I did, because our middle daughter graduated from Berkeley, and we told her that if she wanted to organize a party, we'd have this kind of lawn party in which we'd pay for it. And I got there, and the lawn, being a Berkeley lawn, was in its natural, organic state, is the best way to describe it, I think. The caterer, she said to me, was PC. I didn't understand what that meant. She said politically correct. I mean, it would do all the right things. Yeah. So I said, we got to get the lawn mowed. And the lady who came said, oh, yeah, but we can't get the lawnmower. So there I am, kind of, dappered out as the father of the graduating daughter. My blazer off, my shirt sleeves rolled up, cleaning out the carburetor so we can get the lawn mowed.
Good for you. That's what Americans sense about you when they watch the news. No, seriously.
You can clean out a carburetor.
Yeah, exactly. In a manner of speaking, I think that's correct. Yes. Anyway, go on with your little story.
And then the caterer arrived rather late, and one of the cars in the catering group pulled into the driveway, kind of, listing heavily to the left. And it had what I thought was the best graffiti of the weekend on the back. It said, my other car is a toaster oven. And that kind of summed up the group, but we had a great time.
What did your daughter, what was she studying there at Berkeley?
She was studying English and art history and serious rock and roll at KALX, the voice of Berkeley.
So she's working on the air then?
She likes that.
Oh, man. Well, that's
great. We got one or two of the Berkeley. Alternative rock and roll.
And go on to pursue that career, I would guess?
I'm not sure. Yeah. We'll see.
So anyway, you're getting ready now to go down and you do the news. What studio do you do it from?
We do it from just below you in Studio 3K, actually, within the newsroom.
3K?
We do it in the newsroom.
Yeah, okay, in the newsroom. And try, I've mentioned this before, try and work me into the newscast.
I can.
I'm not saying you have to say Dave Letterman. You don't have to mention the name of the show, just Dave. If you can just, like... I wonder what Dave would think about this. Something like that.
Now, listen, in fact, tonight, we've got a story that we're having a hard time sorting out. It's about the internal politics of Romania, which I know is a special passion of yours.
Yeah, that's right.
So why don't we just cut up here and you can explain it for us?
Oh, all right. Do that. Good to see you, Tom. Nice job. Tom Brokaw, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Hey.
You know me, huh?
Yeah, you're the second best cop in LA.
That's funny. I hear the same thing about you.
Get ready for Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell in a movie full of
Action. Action. Good old American action.
Tango and Cash, rented on video cassette now.
York. It's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, Tom Brokaw, actress Fran Drescher, and musician Buckwheat Zydeco. Plus, Paul Schaefer and the world's most dangerous man. And now, the world's tallest man, David Letterman.
When Tom...
From New York, not really that new, and not really that...
Please, please. Boy, could I go for some flan. I know it means nothing to you folks at home, but a very nice young man named Richard from Queens. Is that right, Richard? Yeah, okay. He brought me some flan. I appreciate that. And I believe it was instant flan, so... Let me explain to you what happened last night, and you tell me, you be the judge, you be the social arbiter here. Ladies and gentlemen. Boy. Woo, wow. Thank you. Settle down. Thank you.